Hey, all my YouTube and Facebook people. Let me tell you about something, guys. Let me tell you all about a story. Back in October, I got fired from my job, Southern Oak Construction. Southern Oak Construction used to subcontract for Space Coast Builders. When I got fired, Space Coast Builders said, "Hey man, get your LLC. I'll put you to work." I also called up MGM contractors who I had originally worked for when I was like 22, who I first started construction with. Called them up and said, "Hey guys, I'm gonna get my LLC. You think you can put me to work?" And they were like, "Yeah man, get your LLC. Give us a call." So alright, so that was October. Started doing everything. I found the my solar log with all my solar customers from when I worked for Florida Solar, so I started cold calling them, doing that on the side. Fast forward, I was also subcontracting for the other contractors. Started doing other little handyman jobs of my own. Did pretty good. Got to the point where I needed to kind of hire someone, and kind of overloaded myself for a minute. Ended up losing out $1,500 on that contract because I failed on the contract. The two guys I did hire to help me left. They didn't know drywall like they told me they did, and I was dependent on them to do it. You know, I showed them how to do it, and then I left them to do it. Unfortunately, they weren't the type to be able to work on your own, I guess. I don't know. Some people can't. So that was a big eye-opener as far as construction. You're gonna work with the big boys. You're gonna take big boy hits sometimes. That was the first mistake that I ate. So we keep going, doing all right. I got a couple other, jobs here and there, but most of my schedule was filled in with Space Coast Builders. Most of the jobs I was subcontracting was from him. Which is cool, man. I do a good job, and, he sees it, so he hires me for everything. Well, he's recently got his idea to start a crew and start, his own company up, because he was actually a project super for Bell's Construction, and that's who he was subbing for. He's just recently got his builder's certification. Not your GC, but your BC, builder's contracting license. So there's residential, which is residential contractor. Then you got building contractor, which is up to 3 stories. And then you got your GC, which is general contractor. And that MFer can build a skyscraper and on, whatever. So that's your three licenses. Mosquitoes. So 3 licenses for, doing construction. And then you got your state license. I've got a state license, so I'm licensed to do handyman work. Now that's a category that some things fall into, some things don't. I've got a pretty good idea of what I can and can't do. And I was working a gray area with my solar company because I was qualified by a general contractor, which was a chess game I had to play with MGM to have them qualify me for my solar installs. But my solar provider, the panel provider, doesn't want to sell to me unless I've got my CB, which is your solar certification, which is cool. I can take a class, but what does that mean? That means I've got to regroup, guys. I got to know when it's time to back up. I've got a really great opportunity, because that contractor, he's got some big plans, and he's already been saving up his money to make his big move, right? And that's what he's about to do, and he wants me to help him. wants me to run the crew. So he can be out there getting more jobs. Just like, that's kind of why I fell behind, man. Because it's a lot to do for one person. To be doing the jobs, to be landing the jobs, to be getting more jobs while other jobs are getting done. It is a challenge, guys. It is more work than pay, especially in the beginning. And that's why, because in the beginning, you are your advertiser, you are your office person, you are your field man, you are your digital creator. You're everything, dude. Everything. And you know what? I was digging it. All about it. But I also want to do my music, man. And if I have to pick one, I choose the music. So, with that being said, I think it's a great opportunity my buddy's giving me to come run his cruise, be his project, his project manager, run the cruise. Right now, I'm training one crew, as we are right now. Hopefully, I'll get the second one going. We need more guys. I can't find a good spot to set this. Like, I keep going to the truck, but the mosquitoes are so bad out here. These candles, they work, but they're not the best. It'd be a lot worse right now if it wasn't for the mosquitoes. Anyway, so, I've just personally been having a lot of trouble stepping down from business owner back to employee, But when I think about it, and I have to pray about it, because in my mind, I was doing some big things. Like, I was about to do big things for God. And this is a pretty big thing, but I can't say it's my thing. But what is that? That's pride. And as a man of a follower of our Savior, follower of Christ, as you would say, is Yahusha. His name is Yahusha. But as a follower of him, an example that he led, we're supposed to be servants. Life's not about ourselves. It's not about how much money I can make. It's not about, I'm just trying to make sure I have somewhat of a future, because I waited so late in the game to get serious about life. And so in my head, betting on big, building the business up, and making at least $1 million, to try and reinvest in everything. That's my only plan for retirement, guys. I don't have a 401. Like, I didn't work for like 20 years. No, I'm lying. Let me quit lying, bro. I didn't work from 2014 to like 2017, maybe. Yeah. So, I mean, there's gotta be some type of something waiting on me, right? I got something. Social Security, although they say Social Security won't be around by the time we get there, guys. No, sir. Y'all like my triangle? Ooh, let's make some hexagons or something. No, man, it's hard. And plus, like, I was pushing big, like, God's with me, and I don't back down from that at all. God is with me. He's actually put me in a great position. If you take out that whole time I was with, I did my own business, you can say I went from getting fired to being project manager. Someone driving down the road. So, I mean, that's a step up. And I'm not saying I won't try and jump back out. I think I'm going to go ahead and save. I'm going to go ahead and do it right instead of be so spontaneous all the time. Because that's just the name of my game. Spontaneous freaking Speedy Gonzalez. Mighty Mouse. Faster than a speeding bullet, but don't know where I'm going. I'm just going. Yeah, man, getting too old to live like that anymore. You know? Big 4-0, guys. Like, when did that happen? I don't know. But I do know one thing. That I did it wrong. My entire life. So, it's pretty easy to do it right. All I gotta do is the opposite of everything I did before. You know, literally, that's how I started changing. I sat in my sister's living room and was thinking about going and getting a beer. I was, man, I want a beer. Let's go get a beer. Yeah, that sounds like fun. And then I said, no. Why would you go drink a beer right now? And then I said to myself, because I don't got nothing else to do. And I'm like, listen, we don't have nothing. And this back then, I was like 34, 35 maybe. It's like, we don't have nothing. We ain't got a car, we don't have a license. What makes you think going and getting a beer is a good idea? And then I got to thinking, the best way to figure out if something's right or wrong, or whether I should do it or not, is if it's something the old Aaron wants to do, if it's an idea of old Aaron, that's what it was. If it's an idea of old Aaron, then do the opposite. That's exactly what I told myself. If it's an idea, then do the opposite. And then things will just naturally start getting better. And they did. And that was about 5, 6, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago, but that would put me around 33, 34. Yeah, 34, I think. I don't know. My hair's a little wild, guys. So I know I look a mess. You look a hot mess, son. I thought it was gonna storm, but it doesn't look like it. Anyways, I wanted to share that battle I was having, guys, because I guess there's something to learn in it. I'm always talking about be grateful, be humble. And here I am getting upset because God's given me this great opportunity to go help someone build a multi-million-dollar business. I'm tired of making other people rich. I went and made Kyle $100,000 in 6 months in Texas, man. Back in 2017. And I didn't even see like 10 of it. Nope. And that's when I was like, man, I'm done doing that. Oh, Father God, give me strength. Show me your ways. And help me be proper. God bless, guys. Y'all have a great evening. I pray, Father, that you help me release this aggravation. Help me release this feeling of failure, because your plan is better than any. And if I'm living it, then it's your plan. Right? If we're alive and just going with the flow, then it's your plan. I don't know. You want to make God laugh, make a plan of your own. Good night, y'all.